I don't think humans were created or meant to be on computers.
I'm not here to take anyone's job. I'm not here to replace anyone. At the end of the day, AI should not replace anyone. It should help everyone.
I've seen how AI can make you good at some things that you didn't even know you could do, right?
There's AI technology that's available right now that's out there, but not available to the public.
Something you've learned the hard way that you couldn't have learned any other way. So
Honestly, this one's gonna hurt to say, but don't rely on AI too much.
I love to know, how did you first get interested in AI?
Well, funny story. So when AI first came out, ChatGPT was the only sort of model that people had access to, like I think in 2022, 2023. And I was against it full on. So when it came out, I was against it because I didn't trust it, I didn't understand it, and I was very hesitant of what it could potentially do that could cause damage more so than it could actually help people. So I didn't use it for the longest time. And then back in, I don't know, maybe 6-7 months ago, I finally just said, okay, maybe I should start looking into it. And the more I used it, the more I realized there was something there. And I've always had a business mindset and an entrepreneur mindset lately over the last few years. So I said to myself, maybe I can do something with this. And that's kind of where the idea of the business that I've started came to life. It came to life because I had a need to wanting to help business owners, and I knew there was ways to do it. And then I realized that AI could help me really make that happen for business owners. So that's where that idea kind of came from.
You know, I think AI is kind of like a second industrial revolution.
Okay, yeah.
It's going to be so disruptive to everyone.
Yes.
But at the same time, I wouldn't never want people see like losing their jobs or being out of opportunities, right?
Yeah, and that's something that I tell people a lot when I try to when I work with clients or potential clients, one of the first things I tell them is, look, I'm not here to take anyone's job. I'm not here to replace anyone. At the end of the day, AI should not replace anyone. It should help everyone, right? And it's supposed to enhance what you're currently doing so that you're not spending so much time doing the same things over and over where AI can just do it for you. At the end of the day, there are certain things that AI can probably replace some people with, but people need to understand that it's not about AI. It's not AI that's coming forward. People have probably heard of this before, and they say it all the time. It's not AI. It's whoever's using AI that is going to try to take people's jobs away. I would never design a website for someone using AI. I could, but I don't, because number one, it's not what we do. But number two, I don't want to take away from the creation that the human mind, I guess, has. AI is a tool, it's a great tool, but it all starts here. The idea always starts here. AI doesn't have the idea, the human has the idea. And when you translate that to AI to help you make that idea come to life, that's what you want. Not, hey, AI, dump everything on it and let it do its thing. I don't think that's not the right way to do it, right?
Yes. I think, well, for me, I've seen how AI can make you good at some things that you didn't even know you could do, right? So I could potentially become an average developer, like an average developer using AI, but like a real engineer would be 10 times better. Right. So why would I go into that field that I don't understand?
Right.
And try to take away from other people.
Yeah.
I would prefer to focus on the things that I enjoy doing and try to be 10 times better, right?
Yeah, and and I'm glad you brought that up, because I've had a client before that I was having a meeting with, and I tell people, look, what we're doing here, what we're talking about, you could probably sit down yourself and figure it all out by using AI, but it's still going to take you time. You still have to learn it. AI or not, yes, it makes it easier, but there's still a lot of time involved in learning some of the things. Like what I know now with AI versus what I knew back in December when I started, it's like crazy. I learned so much, and I'm in that field 24/7 now. And even I sometimes still struggle to make things work. And then there's clients that sometimes might think they can do it on their own using AI, but then they give up because they end up fighting with the AI more than anything else.
Yes, I talked about it the other day. I spend some time trying to build some things for myself.
Yeah.
Mostly consulting work. Like
Right.
I've been using AI for consulting, and I feel it gets like super rigid in their ideas or
Yeah.
their analysis.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to over analyzing things, and AI it's a robot, right?
Yes.
It's not a human, so
No.
it would never have that flexibility and that sensibility
That's right.
to analyze things, right? So yeah, I feel I wasted some time trying to overanalyze things
Yep.
and see like every angle where things can go wrong, where I could just focus on more of like productivity tasks
Yep.
and just trying to be like more intentional and more human.
Yep.
So yes, I'm surprised that you told me that you were against AI first time it came out.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people currently they're still against it,
There's a lot.
or since they don't understand it or they haven't seen what it could do
Right.
for them or their business, they're against it. But can you tell me about the last time you watch a client hand AI a bad instruction and they pay for it?
I mean, yeah, like, so whenever I deal with either a client or potential client and I'll ask them a question like, okay, what do you use for AI right now? And they'll tell me, well, ChatGPT, okay. And then I'll ask them, what is it that you use ChatGPT for? Oh, well, I use it to help me with my marketing or my social media posts or writing emails and things like that. But I find a lot of the times when I give it some stuff and I tell it what I need, it gives me some bad outputs and I keep having to go back and forth with it until I get what I want. A lot of time into that gets kind of like, not wasted, but it's a lot of time spent that could be reduced by understanding how you properly talk to the AI. And some of the clients, yeah, they'll come back and they'll do what the AI tells them. And it wasn't a bad thing, but the client, like the person might not have spent enough time actually understanding if what the AI told them to do was the right thing to do. People tend to rely on the first response AI gives them. And that's a mistake that a lot of people make. It's like, hey, AI, I need this and this and this. ChatGPT answers, okay, yep, thanks, I'm gonna go with that. Ideally, you shouldn't be doing that because you're not gonna find a perfect answer after your first prompt. You're gonna get something pretty good if your prompt was good, but an AI is technically not trained to know anything about you, your business, or nothing at all. It's only trained to take the information it receives because it's a large language model. It's designed to take whatever info it receives and then do its own research, form its own outputs based on the info you give it, and then gives you a proper response based on that. But AI can make mistakes. They all have those disclaimers for a reason. The other day, I made a test myself and I asked it I don't remember what it was, but I asked it a silly question and it disagreed with me, which it should have. But then I said, no, you're wrong and I'm right, even though I was wrong. And then it agreed with me. So AI is not smart. It's smart, but it will agree with you if you want it to. So that's where people tend to need to be more careful and they don't always realize that.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, I saw like a short form video and they were saying this, AI is a yes man.
Yep.
So I went and changed the instructions of my LLM
Yes.
to something like more rigid.
Yes.
And then I have like this like super rigid
Yep.
model, right? That I'm fighting with, and he's fighting with me, and I'm fighting with him.
Yep.
So
Oh, yeah.
with the computer, like
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. And sometimes that's what you have to do. Sometimes you got to put it to the test.
Yes. So then I ask it to tone it down a bit.
Yeah.
Like you're being too rigid here. You're not helping me at all.
Yes.
And then I realize this is just a tool to support me and not to make decisions for me.
Exactly.
So I read somewhere someone saying, so first 10 or 20% is you prompting it,
Yep.
then you can get it to the whole job, and then the last 10%.
That's right. It's like, yeah, it's like you said, exactly that. We'll say 10% of it is your idea coming to fruition by talking to the AI. The 80%, he works it, does it, get it done. The last 10%, that's you reviewing it and make sure that everything is good, right?
Yes. What was that test you were trying to? Do you remember?
I've done a few of them, so I'm trying to remember of one particular example. But well, actually, here's a very good example. And I still deal with this sometimes, even though I've corrected it. Sometimes it'll still Think like today we're Wednesday, May 27th. Well, the dates are not always accurate. You can tell it. No, today is May 27th, Wednesday, blah, blah. When I tell him that, and then he's like, oh yeah, you're right, my bad. Today is this date, which means last Monday was May 18th, but that was also wrong again. So I'm like, no, last Monday was this date. So dates is a very strong example of AI's not being as good as people think sometimes. Is like, they guess when it comes to stuff like that, unless you're very specific with them. And even then, as specific as I was being, it was still contradicting a little bit of what I was saying. So
let's say business owner in Moncton right now that is probably buried in work, like swamped.
Yep.
And they could save some time using AI. What's the best use case you're seeing right now?
The best use case for a business owner that's
use case, yes.
So, I mean, one example I can give right now, like, so let's take a property management company for an example, right? They deal with a lot. They deal with tenants, they deal with leasing, they deal with maintenance, they deal with property maintenance itself. They deal with new inquiries, calls, like all kinds of stuff. And a lot of the times when these agents are on the go, they're working, they're busy dealing with people directly, and then in the behind the scenes where all the paperwork is sitting there waiting to get done, that's the kind of stuff that AI can basically handle for you. A lot of the intakes, the forms, follow-up emails, reminders, administrative tasks that typically would get done by a human, a lot of it can now get done with AI. And we're seeing a lot more of that now, especially with the newer tools that are coming out all the time. I mean, geez, even with like Claude Cowork is a good example. Manus is another good example. But those are
Can you explain a bit what Claude Cowork is?
So Claude Cowork, what it is, it's an automation tool that Claude designed. So if you've heard of tools like Zapier before, or Make.com or N8N, those are like some very common ones. Well, Claude Cowork is its own version where you go on there within the Claude app itself, and you basically tell it what you need it to do from like based on your instructions, and it will just go and do it for you. It automate tasks for you versus you just talking to it and then you turning around and going to do it. So the Claude, how can I say the Claude hub or the app itself, it's an AI where you get your Claude chatbot, which is just conversation. You still do the work. Claude Cowork, you talk, but then Claude does the work for you. And then you got also Claude Code, where you can actually build and design apps with it.
Right. So, yes, I've been trying to get a bit more into Claude Cowork, and the way I understand it as a non-technical person is, here's a folder that I have in my computer. Work with this folder and use it as context to answer some questions.
Absolutely.
I know you could like do some task within that folder. But I feel like just that tool by itself is powerful. So let's say within that folder you have some spreadsheets with cash flow or project management or notes from clients. It could help you organize. Right?
Yeah, and actually I'll give you a perfect example of that. So I had to buy a new computer the other day because I wanted to have a setup at home and then my laptop on the go. So when I set it up, I went on my Claude and I connected the Claude Cowork to all of my tools on my computer, all my softwares, and I connected it to my computer Mac OS itself so that it had access to all my files and folders. After I was done with that, I had migrated all my clientele, all my work folders from my laptop to my new computer was migrated, but it was a mess because it was all over the place and it was like, it wasn't organized. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't want to touch that. So I went on Claude Cowork and I said, hey, go in my folders, go look at all my files, and I want you to organize everything for me based on these different criteria. Like I was very specific from what I needed, gave it the instructions. Claude went, organized all my folders for me. It took it 5 minutes and it was done. It was great.
Yes. Do you think it's a valid concern that people have about privacy when talking to these LLMs?
I think it is a valid concern. Now, I think it depends on which AI we are talking about in this particular case. I mean, when we think about big companies like Google, where they have their Gemini models, or Claude with Anthropic with Claude and things like that, all these big companies, they claim that they have all these safeguards down pat so that your privacy is secure, it's safe, everything like that. Is there a concern for privacy? Sure. But there was also a concern for privacy way before AI was around. People have been on the internet for a while now. Google's been around for a long time. Social media's been around since the early 2000s. People have been posting about their life, their pictures. So right there and then your privacy is already out the window, right? So with AI coming into play, it's not really going to make that much of a difference. Like there's privacy, there are privacy things that are in place to help protect the user, which is no different than every other tool or every other software that you've ever used that was on the internet, right?
Yes. Someone shared with me that some companies might want to like have like all their information in like a physical spot in their properties or their premises,
Okay.
and not rely on like cloud services. So so they have access to it. They can run like their own models
Yes.
inside the company. Do you think that's where we're going, or?
Potentially. I actually haven't heard of that before, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
I believe it. I believe it could happen. What I actually think could also happen with AI, with the way it's going right now, is that it is moving at a bit of a scary pace. That I admit day in and day out, because it's moving so fast. And I'll be honest, there's AI technology that's available right now that's out there, but not available to the public because it's so advanced and they don't want to release it too fast, too soon for a lot of security reasons. And I think what's going to eventually happen is that I predict that AI is actually going to start becoming a little bit harder and harder to get access to as time goes on, because the more AI data centers, the more they release, the more heavy duty or heavy loaded that it gets. It's going to get to a point where the cost of consumption is going to skyrocket. The companies are going to have a harder and harder time to keep up. The cost of paying for AI is going to increase. The free tiers aren't going to do too much for you. And people are either going to have to accept that they got to pay for a decent plan to get a good access to AI, or if they don't, then they're going to miss out on it. With the way that it's advancing, I do think that there's a very strong possibility that down in the future, people are going to have a hard time accessing it, and it's going to become kind of a luxurious tool now that if you want it,
crazy.
You got to pay premium price.
That's crazy. I wouldn't.
I could be wrong, but with the way that things are going, like I could see that happening. And I mean, because people abuse AI. We all know that. I mean, I've done stuff sometimes with it that was silly, but you want to try stuff.
Thank you to it.
Yeah, you want to try stuff out. I had it dress me up in a freaking Batman suit one time, and I posted it on my Instagram. I thought it was cool. I'm a geek, whatever. And then some people, they go and they create these AI videos that look cool, but at the end of the day, it still costs something somewhere. Now, and people talk about data centers. Well, data centers or not, those have been around before AI as well. So it's just now with the increase of AI, we're increasing the demand of data centers. So that's another concern that the general population has.
Yes, now that you bring it up, I saw an article. There's a data center that's being planned to be built in St. John or near St. John.
Yes.
There's a large pushback on
There is. And actually, I saw an article or video last night that in New Jersey, they were putting plans in place to do a data center, and the people fought back and they actually won. And they rejected it, and now they're not doing it anymore. So,
Yes, because it can disrupt the grid.
It can.
Potentially.
And that right there is exactly why I think that eventually it's going to become harder to access AI for regular people that just kind of play with it. AI is going to become more of a professional kind of tool.
So newer models will have like larger energy consumption.
I mean, maybe some would, but I would also dare think that some of the newer models that they eventually release would hopefully work a little bit more efficiently to consume a little bit less.
Yeah.
So that it's not as aggressive or as hard on the data centers. Like an example right now, like Claude, they have a model called Mythos. They announced that I think maybe a month and a half ago or so. They haven't released it yet, and there's a reason for that. It's too freaking powerful. And if everybody had access to that, imagine what, the data, like the usage consumption will be through the roof, and they will be able to keep up.
North America wise.
Okay.
What are some of the industries that can be disrupted or, highly impacted by AI?
I mean, It's a little hard to say because when I think about what AI is capable of, it technically has a belonging in most, if not all, industries. I think it just depends on how you look at it. I mean, you could have AI operate in a medical office. You could have AI help diagnose a car problem for a mechanic. The disruption I think that could happen, like in New Brunswick market especially, unfortunately, would be an increase of job losses due to the fact that some owners might think that it's more efficient to just have AI do some of the work. Next thing they know, they don't need maybe an administrative staff anymore or things like that. I think that could happen. In a small province like New Brunswick, it wouldn't be anytime soon. And quite honestly, I've even read that there are some business owners that are actually regretting almost letting go of their employees for AI because they're realizing that AI is actually costing them more money with the amount of consumption and usage that they use with it. So I think it's a give and take, and I think it's going to depend on the industry, the business that you're in, and how fast the AI wants to advance because New Brunswick, Atlantic Canada, like everything else, it's behind on everything else. Right now we're talking about AI and what's going on with it, but in bigger cities, like in the States or even in the bigger cities in Canada, there's most businesses are already incorporating advanced AI features into their business. We're just not really there yet because we're behind on everything else.
Yes, I've had this thought before that I don't think humans were created or meant to be on computers like all the time, right?
No.
I don't think we were created to be like not in a 9 to 5, like looking at a computer sitting for that long time, or being like 50 weeks working the year. I think the main advantage that we can get from this disruption is that we get to being more connection with Earth, with with other human beings.
Yes.
And the more relationships that you can build, the better you could do in the future. That's the way I feel about it. Now that we have these tools that can automate parts of tedious tasks, then we can focus on what I think it's more important. That's human relationships.
Exactly.
So I feel trying to combine these human relationships with usage of AI to get rid of some tedious tasks can help you become like even more happier, right?
Yes.
Because I used to work on a call center.
Okay.
And I would sit down for 8 hours. I would get 50 calls a day. It wasn't pleasant, believe me.
I guess not.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I quit that job and started doing video production. And this job is like more physical, but I get to interact with way more people and build relationships like in person.
Yeah.
And even in the editing side, the less I could spend time on the editing, that'll be great.
Yeah.
I would prefer I get like 10% of like the initial input than that 80% done by computer, and then I can do like the 10%, the other 10%. So that's how I feel. And I think some like industries can highly benefit from AI.
Oh, absolutely. And you said it really well just now. Like, how can you have to ask yourself, what can AI do for me that I don't have to do anymore, so I can focus on the things that actually matter, which is the client relationships, building those relationships and that trust with your clients, because AI can never do that. AI does not have emotion. It can't just, it can't create a human connection just like that. That's not what it does. What it does best is behind the scenes where no one's really looking at it or even thinking about it.
Right.
And we do what we do best, which is human interactions, forming relationships, building that trust, working together.
Yes. Let's talk about future-proofing ourselves. Let's say you're not a business owner, but you hold an MBA maybe, or you work in accounting for years, or you work in marketing for years.
Yeah.
What should I be doing right now to future-proof myself?
Future-proof yourself from
my job getting taken.
I think at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to, like, let's say if you work in marketing and you're not the owner and you want to future-proof yourself, the one thing that people will need to understand is that, again, AI works really well because it's a tool that can be trained and forged to do the work you need it to do. But people always, what's like the number one thing that people are worried about when they hire a company or someone to do work for them is, how is the customer service going to be? Is it going to be someone that's not going to communicate well with you? Is it someone that's going to miss some things? Is it someone that's just going to do a job 50-50 and then charge you a full invoice anyways? Like, those are all things that AI can never really control, because AI is not it's embedded in the system and it just does what it needs to do. But as let's say a marketing, for example, a marketing person working in that industry, you're not going to be able to hire a company that uses AI to do all their marketing, because you're going to miss that connection, that personal touch, that, hey, just checking in, how are things going? An email from an AI is fine, but it gets generic after a while and it gets boring and repetitive. When you have an actual human to talk to, it reminds you why we do what we do in the first place half the time. Because when people work in a business or work in an industry, most of the time they do it to help people. We thrive on that because that's what we want to see people achieve results. We want to see people succeed and thrive and things like that. AI doesn't care about any of that. AI just cares about what you asked it to do and then it goes and do it.
So would you say soft skills is one of the ways you can future-proof
Oh,
yourself?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like soft skills, and the thing is that you can never, like, I don't even think people should really be worried that AI is gonna come for their job. Like, I really don't, because if you have the capacity and you've got the experience and you're working directly in the field already, chances are people are always going to have a need for humans, because even now we're already seeing it where people are relying too much on AI, but AI still needs to be upkept at a certain level. AI should almost be treated as your administrative assistant and not so much a full replacement for the current work that you actually do. And when you look at what AI outputs sometimes, like I've seen examples of people using AI to design websites, marketing strategies, and things like that, and they all look the same. At first, when all of this was kind of relevant, people were excited and scared. But then people started to realize that what the AIs were actually outputting was not actually unique. It all looked the same, it all felt the same. And then people started to draw back and realize, oh, we still need a human touch on this because AI is giving us too much of the same stuff.
Maybe I'm biased, but I think that marketing,
Yeah.
it's one of the jobs that would survive
Oh, yes.
easily
Oh, yes.
to AI.
No,
'Cause
100%.
There's so much related to human taste in marketing that
Yep.
it can be replicated
Yep.
with AI. So yeah.
I'll give you another example, like logos. So many, and here's the thing, I understand that using AI to create a logo for you is way cheaper than hiring someone to do it, but you can spot an AI logo when you see it now, especially when it's a ChatGPT logo. They all have the same format, they all have the same wordings, like they all look so similar that you just know. And when a logo like that comes out, you look at it and you just feel like, was there really any effort put into it? Was it just kind of created real quick, put together, and then slapped onto the business? Maybe. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But an actual marketing team that goes behind the scenes and does the work, they understand the story behind the logo they're building and the brand that they're building. And that's what matters the most. Is when people look at your brand, they know the story behind it. They understand. They don't just see it and think another generic image. They look at it and they think, okay, this brand means something.
Yes, and I mean, we as humans, especially if you have a background in marketing, we could understand like the human psychology behind making decisions. We make most of our decisions based on emotions, right?
Right.
So a robot that doesn't have any emotions,
Yes, no, exactly.
would never be able to relate with you. Yeah, with you, right?
That's
so
right.
that's where I feel marketing is such an industry that it's hard to replicate.
Yeah.
It's benefiting a lot because a lot of things can be done with AI, but
sure.
at the same time, that output where you make it to have a unique design,
Yeah.
that's like super hard to get.
Yeah.
I've seen people like I follow a lot of X creators, and there's a wave of people like coming up with their own apps, but they hit a wall when they have to market
Yep.
their ideas, right? Because even maybe even like the initial idea was made by AI. There wasn't probably a need for it, or there wasn't any like human intervention
No.
between. So I feel that marketing is such a incredible skill to develop, and that it won't be easy to replicate.
No, and the thing with AI too, like, because again, there's something new all the time, and it's a hype. The new tool that comes out is a hype, and then it kind of dies down. People will start to kind of forget about it. The best example I'll give you with that is when Claude Code came out a few months ago. All I could see on my feeds were Claude Code, Claude Code. Oh my God, I'm up till 3 a.m. and I'm building Claude Code. Cool. What did you build exactly? Who asked for that build, and who did you sell it to? Who are you marketing to? The answer is probably no one. Because it's fun, it's addicting, it's the new thing, everybody's doing it, so I'm gonna hop on that. Now, I don't see anyone talking about building on Claude Code. It's a powerful tool, it's a great tool if you know how to use it, and if you have a purpose behind using it. 9 times out of 10 people that are using AI are doing it for fun and for experimenting.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't really go anything past that after. And that's why jobs like marketings and other industries, there's nothing to really worry about, because the people that are actually serious about it are still going to need the human touch to bring together the project that or the vision that they're working on. That's going to be worked on by the AI, but it starts with the human creator.
Yes, and then ideas. It's hard to have good ideas.
It is.
Not everyone has good ideas.
That's right.
So so what's one thing people can do to start getting, like, to improve their prompting, the way they prompt?
So
AI?
I'm sure I don't know if you've heard of I'm sure you know who Dan Martell is. So I follow him a lot. He of course talks a lot about AI, and I'm going to reference what he said, what he's been saying a lot lately. So when it comes to prompting, what really helps is you start off by giving the AI you want to give it proper context, but you want to start by giving what your actual objective is, right? So you go on your AI, and let's say you want to design a document for a client that describes, their marketing strategy, right? So you go on the AI and you say, hey, Claude, I have a client that I've been working with. I need to have a marketing strategy design on one page that talks about these different discussion points. So that's my goal. Here is what I need you to be considering when you're creating this document. I need you to consider, X, Y, Z, whatever, things like that. But before you even send it off, it's always even a good idea to let the AI know, please ask me any clarifying questions you may need to ask me before building this document. If you don't have any questions, go ahead and do it. That way you start out by giving it what your end objective is, so the AI understands the road that you're on. You're on the road and you're driving, you have a destination in mind, but if your AI doesn't have the same destination in mind as you, you're going to land here and he's going to land somewhere else. And then your vision's not gonna come together. So that's why you start with the objective first. You explain to it how you want to get to that objective. Okay. And then you get it to ask you any clarifying questions, so that if you missed anything or if it needs to double check something with you, it can before it goes in and does it. Okay. So that's one of the good ways to prompt.
So I start with the objective, then context, then I ask it to go into some sort of like plan mode.
Pretty much. Yeah, exactly. You basically frame it as like, here's my end goal. Here's the path I'm thinking we forge for it.
Okay.
Let me know what you think about that, and ask me and let me know if you have any questions, right? And then throughout those questions or clarifications, that path that you have an idea of is going to flatten itself out and be smoother and smoother. Next thing you know, it's locked in. You click the green button, and then it just does it, and you get your results after that.
Makes sense. Is there a belief you currently have about AI that people in your field or your clients are pushing back on?
I mean,
or common objections people are giving, for example, when wanting to work with you, some objections that you're running
absolutely.
into.
So I actually had one the other day, and it was a very nice call. The lady was very nice. I called the company and I just kind of talked to them about, hey, like, I help businesses operate AI solutions, things like that. And when she said she wasn't interested, I just asked, do you mind if I ask why not? And they said that because we have able bodies here to do it. And I could tell she was, it's kind of like one of those moments where maybe there was a bit of frustration with my question of like, do you mind if I ask why not? And then she said able bodies. And I'm like, okay, I understand.
I don't know what that is.
Able bodies, like they have people that can do the work. So why would we need AI to do the work for us, right?
Okay.
But the ironic thing is that she was trying to rush me off the phone because she was trying to get her leasings and all that stuff done before 4:30. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. AI can help you with that.
Yeah.
Another good example is anytime that I make a call to a business, if they don't answer the first time and they call me back later, like a plumbing company, for example, I called a plumbing company once and they didn't answer the phone the first time. I called some more businesses. They eventually called me back. And then I said, yeah, no, I was just calling because I explained what I did. And then he's like, well, I don't think I need that right now. But I'm thinking, but you missed your phone call the first time. If you had an AI receptionist that would have taken your call when I called the first time, you could have had an appointment booked, all set to go. You wouldn't have missed a lead. If I'm a lead calling around for a plumber that needs someone to come and clog my sink right now, I'm not going to wait for you to call me back. I'm going to call the next one on the list until someone picks up the phone. So it's the objections are always ironic because of that alone. It's like, well, I don't need it. Yeah, but you not answering the phone proves to me that you do need it, right? So it's an interesting thing.
What about spending? Because you mentioned some things can get expensive within AI. Is money an objection usually?
Not always. Like, I don't find it's too bad. Like what I explain to my clients is that it's more an investment more than anything else, because the money you're going to spend with whatever AI tools we're going to build into your systems is only meant to help you save time so that you can focus on doing the things that actually matter, which is closing more deals, getting more leads and things like that. When AI is doing the stuff that's not really paying you so that you can do the things that are actually paying you, the AI tools that you purchase are going to pay yourself off easily. Easily.
Yes. These Claude subscription, like the max one, it's like $160.
That's the one I'm on now. It's $140 a month, I think, plus tax.
It's steep. It can be if depending on what you do. It can be steep.
It can be steep.
For me, like I realize, this is a steal if I use it correctly.
Yes.
Right?
For most people, like unless you're a business owner, for most people, if you're not using AI on a regular basis, but you are using it, the pro plans are usually good enough. Like the ChatGPT Plus or Claude Pro, those are usually good enough for a lot of people, and they all have free tiers.
Yes,
they all hit their usage limits, yes, but there's not just one. There's multiple AIs. And that's something else that people tend to forget sometimes. They mostly stick with ChatGPT, and I'm like, why? You've got Gemini you can use, you've got Claude you can use, you've got Grok you can use. Gemini is great because it generates the best images. It's also great for budgeting. It has access to YouTube, all the Google stuff, so it makes it way more easier. Claude is the best tool for writing, but also just for all around work. Like it's my main one, but I still use Gemini for my like go-to, hey, quick question, or hey, I need a recipe for my supper tonight. Like different AIs, different models. Don't be shy to use them all. Not all, but at least a couple.
Yes, for creators, Gemini, it's something I use a lot too. It's the only one that you can actually feed a video into.
Yes.
And it can analyze that video.
Break it down.
For creators, it's great to figure out which areas of the video is where retention is dropping, for example. For us, it's important to analyze those metrics.
Absolutely.
Yes. So then Claude for me, it's been great for ideation, ideas. Even I do a bit of code, but like I don't want to compete with any developers, and it's something I brought in a video. People think that they could replace maybe like a Monday system or like a project management tool. And they would spend, you could spend 100 hours, even if you're trying to do that with AI, for a tool that maybe costs $20 a month.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I would never want people to get like too caught up into like a black hole where
Right.
they try to solve any a
Overcomplicate
problem.
it.
Yeah, that could have been solved with just a few dollars.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So right now you have 6 months into
Yeah.
business.
Yeah. So I started it. Well, the idea started back in October, actually. I was kind of just working on some things on the side just to try things out for fun.
Yeah.
And then December, I officially launched a business. So we're, about 6 months in now. Yeah.
Nice. What's something you've learned the hard way that you couldn't have learned any other way? So
Honestly, this one's going to hurt to say, but don't rely on AI too much. That's the hard lesson that I've learned a lot, especially recently. Sometimes, like, what I would tend to do is I would kind of rely on AI for everything. And here's the thing, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, a solo, it's lonely sometimes, and you don't have the funds to really hire an assistant yet, things like that. So AI, I treat Claude as my literal like business assistant, CEO, whatever you want to call it. But I had to remind myself the other day, don't rely on AI too much. Use this as the engine, use the AI as the tool that helps you get to your destination.
yes, I can relate to that because same for me. I'm basically solo. I was using it for a lot of questions and ideas.
Yeah.
And at some point, I felt like it was clouding my judgment. That I wanted to like pass like every single decision through that filter, and that filter was giving me like all the angles where things
Right.
could go wrong, and then I get like tied, like locked, like I don't know how to figure this out.
Yeah.
Right. So what I'm doing like right now, some decisions won't pass through AI.
Right.
I was just use my human brain.
Your instinct.
And
Yeah.
instinct.
Yeah.
Yes. And my emotions to kind of make a decision.
Right.
Yes. Because like you want like a consultant would want you to be rigid, but the other side is also emotional, right?
Yeah.
Your client has emotions as well. They are not rigid when they are making their decisions.
That's right.
So I feel also that's a big differentiator of our businesses, right?
Yep.
That we actually care about people and that we actually care about serving people. So when you rely too much on AI, I feel we kind of miss that human touch.
We do. It becomes too easy after a while. And we tend to forget, okay, wait, like use AI, but at the end of the day, use your brain to kind of make the final decision that's going to make the most sense based on what kind of what AI told you, right?
So let's say business owner or someone looking to start a business that can benefit from AI, from any LLM, where should they start?
Honestly, if they're starting from scratch, whatever business they're starting from, I would just get Claude, get a subscription to Claude, even just the Claude Pro to start, because Claude, you got your chatbot, your Cowork, your Claude Code all built into it. And I would use Claude to help me come up with a business strategy and a marketing plan based on whatever business that I want to start. And then from there, after the plan is put into place, I would take that plan and I would say, okay, now let's build a calendar or a schedule together for the next 30 days that's going to allow me to follow this plan and be on track with this plan. Because it's important to have a plan. It's important to have a schedule to follow, whether people want to admit that or not. And Claude does really well at planning with you. But again, you don't let Claude do the planning for you. You're working with Claude to do the planning together, but the ideas are coming from you while having Claude kind of be your backbone or your second opinion, your market research, things like that. And then once you've got your game plan, your business plan, you kind of just start taking the little steps to make that plan come to life, essentially.
Yes, something I've struggled to read books a lot throughout my whole life. Last year, my wife got a Kindle for herself. And suddenly, like, the Kindle wasn't hers. It was mine.
Yeah.
So I kidnapped her Kindle and I started reading, like, books on marketing. And I read Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martin.
That was a good one.
I loved it.
Yep. It's a great book.
There's this book called Building a Story Brand.
Yes,
So
I've heard of
that's
that
a
one.
marketing book, and there's another one that's called the One-Page Marketing Plan.
Yeah.
And I think it's a must for business owners.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, yes.
So you learn a lot, but I feel AI can also get context from those books
Yep.
to like reply to some of your answers.
Oh, for sure.
So you learn frameworks from these books, then you can ask AI
Yeah.
to apply some of these frameworks. And
Yeah.
since you read the book already, then the answer feels like more
Yes.
personal and you can understand this a bit better.
Absolutely.
So I think that's maybe a good hack.
Absolutely, because most of the books that are available out there, you can get a PDF copy of it,
Right.
and then you can give it to the AI, and then have AI just analyze the full book, and then it's like it understands.
Yeah, I mean, like some of these books, there's a summary on Reddit. So
Yeah.
they already have like a good chunk of context on
Yeah.
the books, on the frameworks, and
Yeah.
they can just AI would just elaborate.
Yep.
So yeah, still, yeah, I think it's really good for like accountability partner.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to start the gym, and I was so afraid to go to the gym, just because I don't understand like the machines
Okay.
and the movement, and there's a psychology factor behind
Yes.
it, right?
Yeah.
You feel insecure.
Oh, yes.
Because if you're doing a movement and there's an expert on the side, so I created a project. So for people that don't understand, within Claude,
Yes.
you can create a project. You give it instructions so it knows, it has more context, right?
Exactly. It knows where to pull it from.
Yeah. So it helped me create like an accountability partner plan, so I can start the gym in a way that was sustainable,
Right.
just so I can keep going and not quit,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes like I wanted to go like too fast,
Yeah.
right? And it was like holding me back a bit, because it was giving like super good arguments, like,
Oh, yeah.
you know what, if you go too fast here, then you're gonna get like too exhausted and you're not gonna want to come back. And I gave that argument that I wouldn't feel too confident in the gym, and it counter argue that.
Yeah.
So I can tell I've been going for like a month and a half.
Nice.
I'm going like strong with
Yeah.
my plan.
Good. Good.
And yeah, it has made a difference.
Makes a
right?
difference. Yeah.
Even last year, I was over 220 pounds. So yeah, I didn't understand like much about nutrition, and I don't say that this replaces a nutritionist, but what I'm saying is that you can gain a lot of knowledge
Yes.
about food and about diet that you can't get, right,
That's right.
somewhere else.
That's right.
So yeah, I got like a lot of tailored advice, and I was able to lose some weight. So yeah, I see so many use cases. I think I want to be positive about where we're going
For
with
sure.
this.
And honestly, you bring up some good points with that. Like the gym and nutrition is a good example of how AI can help, but how you still need a human. For example, if you use AI to create a workout plan for you, that's great. You can go follow your workout plan, but that's still no different than going on YouTube and looking at videos on how to work out on their different muscles, things like that. A personal trainer, they're your accountability partner. They're there and they're watching your form, your technique, your moves to make sure it's proper, and they can correct it if they need to. AI is not going to correct your form if you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And that's where the combination of having AI do your workout plan, but then also if you have a trainer, which if you have a trainer, you probably don't have AI doing your workout plan anyways, but it's a good example of how you still need a human.
Yeah.
Nutritionist is the same thing. You can tell the AI you weigh this much, you want to gain this much muscle, how many calories do I need to eat, things like that. But there's a lot of other factors that go into your body type, your BMIs, your body fat percentage, your cholesterol, your blood pressure, all those things play a factor that if you don't know about, the AI can give you an actual proper meal plan based on what your goals are, which is a nutritionist will come in and actually ask you the right questions and build a proper plan based on that. So
So that's super interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Yeah, maybe I'm not into I don't need it that much, maybe. I don't know, but it was advising me to find like a real trainer.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
There you
for
go.
posture, because it was AI was worried that my movements would like I would do wrong
Okay. Yeah.
movements,
Yeah.
and that I should get some help.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, it was even for nutrition. I don't think it's gonna replace.
No, it definitely will not.
Yeah.
And that's a classic example. If you've been working out for a long time and you've had a trainer before and you know what you're doing, then okay, you can maybe get away with it likely. I have a good friend of mine, Steve, actually told me the other day that he's a personal trainer. He's really good at what he does. He knows his stuff very well. And he told me the other day, I still tell my clients sometimes, like, go on ChatGPT and ask it and things like that. And that's totally fine. It's a great tool to use when you need it. Your trainer at the end of the day is like, he's the expert. He or she is the expert.
And it's like the same thing, the software developer.
Yep.
A software developer will be 10 times better.
Absolutely.
I could just be good or average.
Yep.
But a nutritionist or a personal trainer will be 10 times better.
Absolutely.
With these tools. Can you introduce yourself, how you help people, your ideal clients, and best way to reach you?
Yeah. So how I help people?
Yes.
Yeah. So
yeah, your name.
Okay, yes.
How you maybe
Yes.
the tagline of your business and
Yeah. So again, so my name is Nicolas Michaud. I own and operate a business called TechnicAI Solutions, and the business that we operate is designed to help business owners save time, money, and stress. When I come into a business, I'm not coming into a business to sell you AI. I am here to sell you solutions to your problems. Whatever those problems are, if you're coming in and you're telling me, well, what can AI do to help me? Let's have a conversation for about an hour or so, and I'll tell you, and then I can tell you exactly how AI can help you. And then I'm not only going to explain, but I'm just going to do it for you as well. And that's the gap that I notice with businesses a lot of the times, is that they have people that they'll go to these presentations, they'll go to these seminars about AI, it's great, but they still have to go and do the work themselves after. I'm going to do the work for you, do the plan, build the solutions, plug it into your business, train you on it, give you a playbook, make sure you're set to go. And if I know that you're saving time and you tell me that it's been a life or a game changer, things like that, I've had clients tell me that they're saving times just by even small things, then I've done my job.
What's the best way to reach you?
My best way to reach me, you can go on my website, TechnicAISolutions.com. You can call me or text me, 506-878-0521. You can send me an email. I'm always accessible. I'm on social media as well, TechnicAI Solutions. You can find me on there, Facebook, Instagram. You can find me on those places too.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this.
Hey, no problem. Thank you so
It's a
much.
pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you.